Hey there, I'm Adrienne, and this class is the perfect class for you if your belly is feeling just a little overly stuffed. It happens to the best of us. We eat a little past our comfort level, and we end up feeling a little bloated or uncomfortable. So this class, we're going to move through some gentle movements and then perform an abdominal massage on ourselves to help promote digestion and hopefully decrease that amount of bloating or cramping or uncomfortable fullness that you might feel. So this is just going to be a short class, and you just need a couple of things. The first thing that you'll need is a blanket. I've got a blanket here that's folded up underneath me. You can use a blanket or a folded up towel, anything like that. And then you'll also need a chair, or the edge of a couch works well too. So chair, couch, whatever you've got around. The yoga mat I just have out because my floor is hard and it is cold, but you don't need your yoga mat out. If you want to roll it out, great. If you don't, that's fine too. Feel free to pause this video and then meet me back here when you're ready. Now that you're ready, we're going to start in a seated position. The one that I'm going to be choosing today is to sit on my heels like so, with my legs tucked underneath me. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you and you can't get into this position, you can take a cross-legged seat. You can extend your legs out in front of you. You can also bend one leg and keep the other extended, just so long as you have a nice long upright spine. You can, in any of those positions, sit on your folded up blanket or towel. And in this kneeling position, I'm going to take my folded up blanket. As you can see, I folded it up a few times, and then I folded it in half. And then I'm going to place it right in between my heels like so that my seat can feel more supported. Once you're into position, just let your hands come to rest on your knees or in your lap, and take a moment to get yourself comfortable and settled. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth. And as you breathe, see if you can send your breath into the lower rib cage. And with your inhale, expand into the lower ribs, down towards your belly, towards the pelvis. And as you exhale, let go of all of your air. And we'll take just a few rounds of breath like that. If you are very full, you might notice that it feels uncomfortable to breathe deeply. So if it does, don't force it, but just encourage as deep a breath as feels comfortable for you. Let's take one more like that. And then when you're ready, flutter your eyes open. We'll begin with a side bend. Take your left hand off to the side and reach your right arm up and over with your palm facing the midline of your body. Reach up, let that shoulder blade lift up towards the ceiling, and then big inhale, and as you exhale, lean over towards your left. And then take your left hand and anchor your right ribs down, and you might even kind of stroke that right side gently. You can send your gaze wherever's comfortable on your neck, maybe down to the floor, straight out in front of you, or up towards the sky. And then back to center. Take your right hand down, reach your left arm up and over, reach up towards the sky, lengthening through the left side, and then over to your right. Try to keep your front ribs heavy. And again, if you'd like, you can use that right hand to gently stroke the left rib cage. Good, and then back to center. Other side, reach the right arm up and over. This time, palm faces forward. Big inhale here, and then as you exhale, pull your right elbow in towards your right rib cage. And we'll do that just a couple times. So inhale to reach, exhale, draw in, inhale, exhale. One more. Good, other side, right hand down, left arm up, palm faces forward, side bend, and then exhale, elbow to ribs. Inhale, up and over. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Good, back to center. And then take your hands behind you. Start to lift the chest as you draw the shoulders down. Notice if you really flare the ribs forward. So if you're a rib flarer like I am, just keep those front ribs soft as you lift through the sternum bone. And then nice deep breath into the belly. Good, and then come back to center. Take your right arm across your body to your left knee or thigh. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, twist. And as you twist, draw your sternum bone in towards your spine. It might almost feel as if you're rounding through the upper back. That's okay. You can let your head relax. And then other side, right hand behind you. Take your left hand over. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, draw your sternum bone in as you twist to the right. Good, back to center. And then I want you to let your arms relax, and you can even bend your elbows, especially if you're going to not have room when you swing to have the arms straight. And we're just going to do little swings back and forth, and you can let the arms be as straight or as bent as feels good, and as much as you have space for. The whole while, try to keep the sternum bone drawing in. It's just going to bring that twist a little more into the upper spine. Nice deep breaths here. Good, and then back to center. So now we're gonna make our way onto our backs for our abdominal massage. So you're gonna take your blanket and place it so that it'll be underneath your head for support. And then your legs are gonna go up onto the seat of the chair or onto the couch, whatever you're using. Now, I find an easy way to get into this is to come into a seated position with your legs out in front of you. Get your hips kind of up to the side of the chair, or to the front of the chair, excuse me. Get the side of your hips to the front of the chair. And then lie down, taking your elbows down, swing your legs up, and then make any adjustments here that you need. Now you want the knees more or less stacked over the hips. You can have a slightly less hip flexion degree in them. So if you want to scoot your butt out a little bit so that the hips aren't directly underneath the knees, if that's more comfortable, that's fine. Otherwise, hips are right underneath the knees. I'm just going to move my chair just a little. So again, make sure that you take the time to get comfortable here. You can even pause the video to make any adjustments. And then just take your hands to your low belly and close your eyes. And we're going to take a few deep breaths. And with these inhales, I want you to focus on filling up into the back of your ribs so that you feel your ribs expand into the floor beneath you. And then long exhale out. Couple more like that. Wonderful. So now we're going to start with our abdominal massage. So I want you to take your hands to the lower right abdomen. And actually, let's just find some bony landmarks so that we understand the portion of our belly which we are working on. So first, I want you to take your hands to the lower hips and find those two front bony hip points on the sides of your abdomen. Once you find those bony hip points, then I want you to find the ribs and just kind of palpate the edge of your ribs, running all the way from the base of your sternum down and out towards your lower back. So it kind of makes a little like diamond shape from the sternum bone out to the ribs and then over the top line of your pelvis down to your pubic bone. So we're going to be working kind of within that diamond shape. And then take your both hands to the lower right abdomen, right on the inside of that bony hip point. And then I like to stack my fingers like so that I'm using the support of my other hand. And you're going to gently push down and then drag your hand up towards the ribs. And we'll do that just a few times. So gently push down and drag up. Push down right on the inside of that bony hip point and then drag up to the base of the ribs. We're just on the right side right now. Good. And then take your hands to the left low ribs. And then we're going to push gently down right beneath the base of the ribs there and drag down towards the inside of that bony hip point on the left side. And we'll do that a couple times. And you can apply as much pressure as feels good here. You might notice a difference on sensation between the two sides. Good. And then take your hands right on top of your belly button. Stack your hands on top of each other. Take a big breath and try to expand your belly into your hands. And then as you exhale, you're going to gently push down, straight down towards the floor. This might feel a little uncomfortable if you're not used to pressure on your belly. So just breathe. And again, you can adjust the pressure. So light pressure is fine. You can go deeper if you're someone who likes deeper pressure. Take one more breath, breathing into the palms. Trying to push your palms out with your breath and then exhale. Apply as much pressure as you like. Good, and then release. And now we're gonna start right above the pubic bone. So the pubic bone is right at the base of the pelvis there. And you're gonna start by dragging your hand, and you can use one or both hands. I'm just gonna use one. You're gonna drag your hand in a circular motion. So from the base of the pubic bone there to the right bony hip point, all the way to underneath the right rib cage, over to the left rib cage, and then down to the left bony hip point. And we're going to do that circle a few times. I'm actually going to use both hands. And for this, I'm going to use the heel of my hand. So the portion that I'm using of my palm is kind of that meaty part of your thumb. And then also this is the pisiform, but that little kind of bony part of the other side of your palm that's across from the thumb. You can use both those parts depending on what angle you're at. And you're just going to make slow, gentle circles, moving in a clockwise direction. As you're moving, I want you to notice if there's any kind of sensitive points in here that you feel. And just take note of those sensitive points. And then come back to center. Relax your arms And then you're going to take your fingertips to the base of your ribs and find the edge of your ribs. Take your fingertips and gently push down, so right underneath the rib cage, and then push straight down towards the floor. And if that's enough, that's fine. If you want a little bit more, you're going to try to act like you're hooking your fingers underneath the ribs. And we're starting, make sure that you're not right at the top where the sternum bone is. We're starting just a little bit off to the sides there. And you kind of want to imagine that you're going to hold on to your rib cage. And then once you have that, take a deep breath. One more. And then move your hands just a little more out to the sides, a little more laterally. Same thing, either just push straight down, and if that's enough, fine, or try to hook your fingers underneath. Deep breath. One more. And relax. Shake out your hands if they get a little sore. And then I want you to kind of palpate around on your belly. And if you remember those sensitive spots, I've got one that's just kind of right below my navel to the right side. I'm going to use my fingertips here, and you're going to take a big breath in, and then exhale, gently push down into that sensitive spot. And again, the pressure is up to you. It can be as hard or as gentle as you'd like. Couple of deep breaths there, willing that spot or that area to relax. One more breath. You can even give your fingers just a little like wiggle back and forth. And then you're going to palpate around for just one more spot. I've got one more on the left side, closer to my pelvis. Take a deep breath once you find that spot, and exhale, push down, straight down towards the floor. And you can make little wiggles back and forth or up and down with your fingers. Or you can just hold still. And then relax when you're ready. And then just take one palm. I'm going to use my right hand and just very gently make circles in that same clockwise direction. This time we're not really applying pressure, just gentle movements in that same circular pattern. Giving your belly just a little gentle love. And then back to center. Just relax your arms by your sides. Close your eyes if they're not already. And we'll finish with a few more deep breaths. So big inhale into the back of your ribs, sides of your ribs. Long exhale out. And let's take 4 more like that. Big inhale. Long exhale through the nose or the mouth. After your last breath, just take your arms, reach them up overhead, push your tailbone into the floor as you let your spine lift away from the earth. Stretch and reach, get nice and long. You can also press your heels into the chair or the couch. And then relax your spine back to the floor and just wiggle your pelvis kind of from side to side. And then hug your right knee in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then switch it out, left knee in. And release. And then to come off the chair, take your feet to the edge of the chair and roll to one side. Use your hands gently, press yourself up. And that is it for this lovely digestion promoting class. So maybe just take a moment, tune in, notice how you're feeling. Obviously, this is not magic, and you're welcome to spend more time doing any of the movements in this class to help continue to promote that digestive quality. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in one of my next classes, hopefully.